think we're live now. No. Okay, there we go. All right, we're live now. Just let me know you see me. Gonna put some more light on. Okay, everybody. Hi. Okay, so thanks, Rosa and Pedro, for again your hard work. It was weird seeing the letters backwards, but I'm sorry you have to paint them all white. And even if I gave you white dye, it wouldn't work. It's best that you use the paint. But you guys did a great job despite me not being able to be there to really help you out. I hope you've learned a lot. Looks like you have, and the sewing job is great. So, Pedro, I guess you should wear that costume. But Anastasia, one of our volunteers, she still has the headdress. So I texted her earlier, but I haven't heard back from her yet to see about how and when she's going to bring the headdress down to 6th Street. Because I know she's upstate. So I'm not quite sure how that's going to work out. And it looks like I'm going to wear the sustainable... Oh, no, I'm going to wear the zero waste costume that I made. I kind of look like a wedding duck or something when I wear it. But I finished the headdress, and that... Hey, guys. You guys good. It looks good. I'm sorry you have to paint every letter. Hopefully you're doing it thin enough that it seems to be flowing just fine. So acrylic paint, as long as it's a little fluid, should be going on enough to keep the fabric fluid and all. So I'm going to get some water. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so what I'm going to work on today, I brought all the costumes down that I finished so far to 6th Street, and what I brought back is the headdress for the very creepy costume that Pedro described. That's the carbon sequestration costume, and it's let's see, that drawing. Oh, I put my drawings away. So again, Michelle Brody, I'm the costume designer for Earth Celebrations this year. I've been doing them on and off, designing the costumes for the pageant on and off since 2009. When it was earlier the Hudson River pageant. And I'm a sculptor and a mixed media installation artist. I work a lot with environmental issues in my work. And yeah, I've been holed up here in my studio for the last 5 weeks. I had a couple of assistants. I had a friend, Olivier, who was here for a while working on another project with me, which was a singing project. Working with seniors. Unfortunately, I found out that one of the seniors that I've worked with for the last 3 years, his wife passed away from the virus, and then he did as well. So, a bit of mourning for that, for Steve. Steve, he was a sweet man who I worked with at the senior center. Anyway, that's a whole other project. And then I had Joanne here, who's going to be wearing the the carbon sequestration costume. And as you can see, this is the headdress for that costume. Uh, and yeah, it is kind of creepy. It's a walking mangrove, for gosh sakes. They're great carbon sequesters. They really can collect carbon in their roots, which, as you know, with a mangrove, they kind of look like this in the water. You know, their trees are not, their roots are above ground. And they are kind of creepy because they're in a swampy area usually. And they are kind of hairy. And so that's the look I wanted to give it. And it's also representing seaweed and an algae is for the top here, is representing the algae that also is a great collector of carbon. So, and you know, of course, here's the original design for the costume that Pedro and Rosa had been working on. And it's looking great, guys. It looks just like the drawing, you know? And that's what I love about this process. I mean, I don't usually draw ahead my work. It kind of develops as they go along. So it's been really interesting to really see what I draw come alive. And so the costume that I'm going to wear is this one. That's the zero waste. It's a different kind of headdress, but things evolve and change as they always do. So let's put those away. All right, we got to clap. We got to clap, everybody. Clap, clap, clap. It's 7 o'clock. We're celebrating our... I see people finally in my neighborhood clapping for our first responders and our health technicians and our doctors and our nurses. Whew, okay. There we go, there we go. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Okay, I see my neighbors looking over at me. It's very different here. Okay, so we were talking about materials that sequester the carbon, that hold the carbon that we create through driving and through coal manufacture and coal burning, especially with planes and exhaust. These are all elements that burn the fossil fuel, which create the extra carbon dioxide in the air. Now, of course, we know plants absorb that carbon, but certain plants absorb more than others. And in the carbon sequestration costume, it's the mangrove roots and the algae and the seaweed that absorbs all that carbon. So this is a headdress that Felicia actually started and made early on, and it's made from kombu seaweed that she had delivered, and that's what Kathy has also been working with as well to make the vest. Not the vest, it was more like a body armor piece that she was using the seaweed for. So what I've done is I'm setting it into a hat form. And so if you could see the inside here of the hat, the white part that you see is called buckram. And what I did was I formed the buckram around Arthur's head here. Remember Arthur? Remember Arthur? Okay. And so I built that around so it would sit really nicely on the head. But what we're going to do is we're going to do the finishing for it tonight. And I wanted to show you this process because it's a very traditional kind of hat making technique that I would have liked to have shown you guys to all the volunteers. So I don't have the exact right tools right now, but normally you use a steamer. And so I'm going to pour water into my iron right now so I can get the steam function going. We have too much water in there. There we go. Okay. All right, so we're going to have our iron heat up. So we get some steam out of there. Okay. And the buckram is basically a cotton fabric that's been infused with starch. So it's very, very stiff. And what you do is you have a oh shoot, I'm forgetting the name of it, but you have a wooden block. It's called a block. And this is a traditional material that hat makers use, which is made out of wood, and it's shaped to different heads, and it's meant for shaping for different kinds of hats. So you can shape felt around it, and what we're going to do is shape the buckram. So right now the buckram is very linear, okay? And we're going to make it dimensional. And so what we do is we use the steam from the iron, and I'm using an aluminum bowl to help shape the rounded part. Okay? And what I'm doing is, in a sense, making darts so that will hold its shape. Now this is just a sample piece that I'm doing for all of you, just so you guys can see the process. And let's hope I don't burn myself again. Burned myself pretty bad last time. Those are the hazards of this way of working. There we go. And the great thing about the starch is that it sticks to one another. But you also do some sewing, which I'll do in a little bit. So here we go. There's the start of our hat form. I'm going to do the other side. Okay, so there we go. Kind of a start there. Something. But I just wanted to show you how this went from linear to dimensional. Okay? So that was just to be an example for you guys to see. So I'm going to turn off the oven, the iron now, and keep it far away so I don't burn myself. Okay, so now it's time to work on the headdress. And so I'm going to be using a glue that I learned from Lucretius many, many years ago, The Magic of Magnatac. So that's going to be how we're going to make this thing stay together. But the first thing I want to do is trim the inner part that I made of burlap. Okay, so the headdress is going to sit like this. Okay, so you guys check it out. Okay, lighting is kind of let's turn the light on. Okay, but it's a little loose, and I'm going to actually use some of the ribbon so it can be tied around the chin. But I think I need to make it a little sturdier. So what we're going to do is trim the burlap now. Okay, just get that set up. Okay, so trim this around and then glue into the brim. I've already glued the front of the brim to the headdress, okay? And now I want to trim, and then I'm going to sew in there as well. So let's see. To move my decision, that's going to go in like that. Okay, now I'm going to stitch these sides, and eventually it's going to be glued on the inside. Yeah. Now we're sticking it out so you can see me sewing. Okay. I'm going to glue just a little bit more here. It's a little dried, but it is working, so I think we'll be fine. Okay. So it's a little dry, so that's why I'm keeping it upside down. And there. And then I'm gonna that stuck there. Okay. Now we'll get to sewing on the inside. I'm gonna make my music a little louder. We had some house music earlier. Now we're going for classical. It's hard being your own camera person doing this, but all of my buddies are off in other parts of the world, other parts of the city. So, there we go. So I have to be careful with the seaweed. I did coat it a bit with methyl cellulose to help with keeping it stiff, but it is rather delicate. Um, and it does have a certain sea smell to it. So it's very natural, that's for sure. I'm going to do this so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to focus right there. Yeah, I think that'll work. So, I've been getting a lot of uh, emails and connections online. How artists are coping during this time period of isolation. And it's been very interesting to see how different people find their way through this time. Um, and to see how, with my other job, we're trying to put our classes online so we keep kids activated and creative as well during this time. Um, I've been so inundated with the work for the costumes that some artists have been seeing this time as being something like akin to an artist residency, where you have just your own free time to work and you don't have anything else to do. Unfortunately, I haven't felt that way for my own work, but I am starting an idea for a piece where I'm looking for community volunteers. I'm interested in creating a handmade book of people's views from their windows. While we've been stuck inside, um, what do you see when you look out? Are you able to see nature? Or do you see another building next door? Or do you see the street? Or do you have trees? Or do you not have a view at all? Or some of you overlooking the whole entire city? I've been intrigued to collect those images, and I'm working on a stenciling project. So it's still in the works, but this is the idea of the stencil. So it's this shape, the shadows, the silhouette of our windows, and what we see, that's how we've been able to see the world these past almost 6 weeks now, or 5 weeks at least. So I might start asking people to send me photos from your windows. And you got to take one that's underexposed and one that's overexposed, because if it's bright out, you won't be able to see the inside frame of the window too easily. But I'll explain that when I send out an email to people, see if you're interested. Um, so at least my mind has been creative during this time, but it's a little bit of low energy, trying to keep things up and do the costumes, do the live feed like this that we've been doing, and then doing the singing project that I've had happening. So it's been really a lot going on despite not going out. It's been very strange. Okay. Very awkward sometimes. Alright, so I think what I want to do... Okay, I'm just going to finish this part off and just see how it sits on my head. Oh, that's a little more snug. Yeah. It reminds me of the Sorting Hat from Harry Potter in a way. The shape. It's all wet here. Alright, so let's continue sewing around. Get a different scissor. do the other side. I can't quite get the right angle to work so you don't see the back of it. I mean, yeah, it's like what Rosa and Pedro were describing with their project. It's a lot of repetitive motions. And usually I have a couple of things going so that I show you a lot of different things, but this is the last part. So, yeah, Earth Day, the last day of production here, I think. I think this is the last day. You have to let me know, Felicia, if this is. Okay, so let's get the other side now. Oof, I've got little bits and pieces of seaweed all over the place from this. I'm trying to finish off the ends on the inside, so that's what I'm trying to do. Okay, so hopefully I'll finish this in time so I can show you, yeah, we have another half hour, how I glue it all together. And then I'll need to sew in the tie part. Okay, we're getting there. Thing is, I can't turn it upside down because of the top, the way it is. So I'm just trying to find the best angle for myself here. I think it's better if it's down this way. There we go. Okay. Okay, so now I want to decide how I'm finishing this off. So I'm going to try this. Pin it in. I need to decide if I'm pinning on the inside or the outside. Let's see how that feels. Oh yeah, I think it's a lot snugger now. Maybe too snug. Let me just try it by taking it out. Yeah, these little pieces that come off, I'll try and glue them back on. It's a delicate piece, that's for sure. Okay, no. Alright. I can't do that on the inside. Okay. So, what do I need to do now? Just bring these to the back. Yeah. Okay. And I'm gonna sew and glue them to the back. Oh no, my phone is ringing. Who's calling? Let's just see real quick. It's a package! It's a package being delivered. Alright. No food delivery this time. No food delivery. Reminds me I'm getting hungry. Okay. Oh. Hello? What? Guess he came in. I don't know. Oh, it's such strange times. It's a good thing I like staying home. Oh man, what is going on? Hello? Hello? Yeah, are you going to leave it down at the mailbox or come up? Yeah, just leave it in front of my door. I'll buzz you in. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. Now I'm going to leave this stuff outside. Oh, I need to tie this off. Right. Oh, come on. Why is it? Hello. All right. I guess I'll come down. Okay. I'll come down. Thank you. All right, guys. I have to stop. I'll come back in a little bit. All right. Thank you.